I'm going to inherit his 800K asset in this mansion that he owned because I'm his wife. What?
Trouble Busters!
My brother's funeral was finished just now. He was the only family that I had in this entire world. Our parents passed away when we were little, and my brother had done anything to raise me to this day. And Kayla, his wife, showed up out of nowhere despite she never even attended the funeral.
I guess it's finally over.
Oh, Kayla, why? Why didn't you attend the funeral?
Give me a break. Funerals are shady.
Why are you here then?
I'm here to declare to you guys.
Declare?
Yep. I'm going to inherit his 800K asset in this mansion that he owned because I'm his wife.
Huh?
Oh, I've been looking forward to this day for such a long time. Steven has always been such a boring guy. He was always working, but then I'm grateful that he now turned into good money for me.
That's terrible. How dare you say that? My brother has always worked so hard to raise me.
I married him because I wanted his money.
What did you just say?
I'm telling you that I married your brother because I wanted to inherit his assets, not for anything else. I've been waiting every day, waiting until this very day that he turned into my money.
My brother had never missed a back-to-school night, no matter how busy he was with work. He made his lunch for my field trip, even though he had never cooked before. He was always there to cheer me up when I got into a fight with my friend. I can't take this. Oh, Steven.
I'm not letting her get away with this. Trouble Busters! So now I don't need to waste my time talking to a stranger. Can you please just leave?
May I ask why?
I'm telling you that everything belongs to me now. Your brother's assets, this property, and the house. What are you guys laughing about, huh? Am I not making sense to you guys? I'm Steven's spouse, and I'm legally the person who will inherit everything he owned.
Oh, are you sure about that?
What?
You called yourself the spouse.
And you said legally.
And what's so funny about that?
You filed a divorce with my brother, Kayla.
What? So what?
Huh?
Even though I filed a divorce with him, it doesn't change the fact that I used to be his wife. This means that I used to be his spouse, so I should be the one who inherits everything from him.
What makes you think you would have the right to his inheritance when you're no longer his spouse?
Huh?
The moment you filed a divorce with him, you're no longer the current spouse.
Just as you said, you used to be his spouse.
Which makes you a stranger to him at that point.
What? Does that mean I don't even get anything?
Of course not.
Fine, but his son would have the right to claim for inheritance, so why don't you look into that?
His son? I don't think you guys had a son. Did you?
Matthew, can you come over here for a second?
Who is that?
I told you, he's my son.
Nice to meet you. I'm Matthew, and I'm Kayla's son. Steven never said that he had a son. Of course not.
What do you mean?
Matthew was my adopted son before I got married to Steven, and he's been living in a separate apartment all this time.
What for?
Oh, you know it. I had him on standby in case of a situation like this. Just in case I ended up not having the right to claim for his inheritance, I made sure I had a son so my child would have the right to claim.
Mr. Trevor?
In this case, Matthew does not hold the right to claim Steven's inheritance.
What?
Matthew has never technically been an adopted child of Steven's, so Matthew does not have the right to a claim for inheritance.
Hold on a second.
Yes?
Back when I was still married to Steven, Matthew was considered our legal child. Doesn't that mean that Matthew was technically Steven's adopted child?
It would seem that way.
Right?
However, in order for Matthew to have the right to claim Steven's inheritance, Matthew would have had to become a directly adopted child of Steven.
What?
What the heck? Kayla, you never told me any of this.
It's okay. I used to study law back when I was in college. I got this. So, what if Steven left a will?
Huh?
Here, check this out. What? Really? Do you get it now? Steven left a will that states that Matthew will inherit all assets. I guess you can't help but be shocked when you see something like this.
We're just
We're just amazed that the will you have in your hand
Looks almost as if it was real.
What?
It looks like you made sure the writing looks as close to Stephen's handwriting as possible. First of all, let me point out the verbatim "will inherit."
What's wrong with that?
If this was a real notarized will, a legal witness such as a lawyer would join as the document is being prepared. It would state the wish that the deceased would gift the asset to certain individuals instead of will inherit.
Huh?
It also looks like this will was a printed copy and not the original. Did you find an image of that stamp online and paste on that copy?
No, that's not true. I just made sure that I kept the original safe at my house.
Oh, that's strange. If this was a real notarized will, it should be kept at the notary, not at your house.
Oh, that's right. I have it at the notary, and I just picked it up because my husband passed away.
In that case, may I ask if the person who is the notarized witness had handwritten their name on this will?
Of course they did. This will was officially made with a notary.
I see. So you're saying that someone else had signed the witness's signature on behalf of that person, correct?
What is your problem? What are you trying to tell me?
The problem is the fact that
This will.
is fake.
What? That's not possible. This is Stephen's handwriting, and it's in the proper format that it's supposed to be in.
This isn't my brother's handwriting.
What? How can you be so sure?
This handwriting almost looks like my brother's handwriting, but it's not as fluid as my brother's.
What?
My brother had been in calligraphy. He would never have written so solidly the way this will is written.
Oh, you can't be so sure about that. You're saying this as if Stephen never wrote this will, but you're not a graphoanalyst or anything. You can't just say these things when you have no idea what you're saying.
Just for your information, graphoanalysts can be sometimes vague with their standards depending on who you hire.
What?
The graphoanalyst that you're likely talking about is not an official occupation, but it's more of a civil certificate.
So what? This girl doesn't even have that civil certificate. She has no right to refute this will just because of the way the handwriting looks.
No, even if we don't hire someone like that, we already know that the will you have in your hand is forged.
But I'm telling you that it's real.
That's not possible.
What? I mean, the real will is right here. What? No way. You're kidding.
Stephen used to be a lawyer. He made sure he had a notarized will for his assets in case anything had happened to him.
Especially when he had someone like you waiting around for him to pass away.
God damn it.
The fact that you faked this will means that you've committed a crime of forging a private and sealed document. You can be sentenced to at least 3 months up to 5 years of imprisonment.
Since you made a fake notarized will, this is considered a forgery of official documents. This tends to be considered a worse crime than forging private documents, which means you may be sentenced to at least 1 year or up to 10 years of imprisonment.
Aww.
But hold on! The only people who know about this are you guys and us at this point. As long as we keep this within us, we'll be okay, right?
I knew it.
Huh?
You said we'll be okay. Does this mean that you consider yourself a part of this?
What do you mean?
You're her accomplice, aren't you?
No, I never signed on behalf of the witness or anything.
There we go.
Kayla's adopted child, Matthew, has signed on behalf of a third person. I said I never.
Matthew, just let me handle this.
We will be filing a police report regarding this. What?
But you guys don't have anything to do with this. It's a family problem. You don't need to file a police report.
We're obligated to. It's the law.
What?
When an individual fails to report a crime that amounts to aiding or abetting the offense, that individual may be charged with a crime. No, you can't do that.
I don't care if I get caught. Just give me the money first.
What?
If Matthew and I get arrested, the entire $800K is going to be turned into the state, right?
So all you care about is the money.
Of course. I've been telling you that I married Stephen just because I wanted to inherit his assets.
That's too bad.
What?
The moment you filed a divorce with Stephen, the person who will inherit his assets became...
Me, at that point.
What? All $800K?
That's right.
What about the division of assets?
Don't you recall that Stephen gave you a copy of all documents upon filing the divorce?
But he didn't give me much. Besides, he never gave me any portion of his property either.
This house was owned by Stephen before he even married you, and therefore it's not subject for the division of assets upon filing a divorce.
What? Then what about his savings account? I know he had money in his savings, but he didn't give me a single penny.
But the two of you have lived separately for quite a while before you filed a divorce, right?
So what if that was true?
When a spouse builds savings or owns property after living separately, those assets are not subject for division upon filing for a divorce.
What? That bastard. He never saved any money when he lived with me, and all he did was donate all the extra money he had. No wonder he started saving money after we lived separately. He must have known what he was doing. This isn't fair. You married my brother because you wanted his assets, and you made my brother do that to you. Oh, shut up. So what about the insurance?
Yes?
I said the insurance, his life insurance. I know he put my name as his beneficiary when he was enrolling in life insurance since we were still married. What about that? Is this what you're talking about? What the? Why is your name on there and not mine? You must have forged this document.
That's not possible. I only found out about this just earlier today.
You're lying.
She's not lying. Besides, Stephen changed his life insurance beneficiary to Helen the moment the two of you started living separately.
That bastard!
I don't think being upset with my brother is going to do any good for you right now.
Oh, shut up. You have no idea what you're talking about. So just shut your mouth.
Oh, I know what I'm talking about.
What?
He wrote everything about the marriage he had with you when he was writing me in a letter that he left with the notarized will.
A letter?
He wrote that he decided to live apart from you because you've been cheating on him. He tried talking to you multiple times, but you would keep cheating on him, and that's why he ultimately broke up with you.
Oh, who cares about that? It has nothing to do with this.
But this is going to be important regarding the settlement that you're about to pay.
Settlement? What about it? The person who's supposed to take that payment is no longer alive. I have nothing to do with you.
I've also inherited the right to claim settlement from you.
What did you say?
Didn't you know that a person could inherit the right to claim for settlement?
What does that mean?
As you might be starting to realize, the person who will be claiming the settlement will now be Helen instead of Stephen. Nothing else will change, and you're still obligated to continue making the payments you have been making.
That's not fair. I still owe $89.3K when I'm not even going to inherit a single penny. How am I supposed to pay for it? Helen, why don't you decline the inheritance?
What the?
You used to be my sister-in-law. Why don't you decline the inheritance to help me out?
You're not my sister-in-law.
What?
You didn't even care to attend my brother's funeral. He was the very last family member that I had in this entire world. I'm telling you that I don't consider you my family.
What's your problem? I used to be your brother's wife.
And that's what makes me even more upset about this. My brother used to be such a nice person, and all you did was to break his heart all the time. And you're telling me that you only married him because you wanted his money? I'm not going to forgive you no matter what.
Look, I wasn't the only person at fault here. Your brother was a boring man. Why? Huh? Why didn't you choose to make my brother happy? You were his wife, and you could have made him happier than anyone else could have. He's done everything for me. Wherever he wanted to go, whatever he wanted to do. He sacrificed so much for me, and I was so happy that he finally found happiness. At least he was supposed to become happy, but you ruined his life. Oh, stop taking it out on me. What? Your brother just happened to choose me to become his wife. That's all there is to this.
I can't believe you still don't care enough to give a single word of apology.
That bastard didn't even leave a single penny for me. Why would I? Fine, that's it. I don't care how you feel about me. I am going to personally file a lawsuit against you. What? Matthew, you became an adopted child of Kayla because you also wanted a share of my brother's money. I'm not leaving you out of this either.
What? Me? But I have nothing to do with this. Oh.
I'll make a note of the committed theft.
What the heck have you done, Matthew?
I went to the bathroom and no one was watching over these, so...
Do you even realize what you've done?
You're also going to be charged for trespassing.
What?
What did you think? I inherited this property and you entered it without my permission.
Wait, hold on. I walked in here because I thought I owned this property.
It's okay now.
What? What do you mean it's okay? I'm not going to forgive you for anything you've done or do, no matter what you tell me. And I'm going to make sure everyone who knows you will be made aware of this incident too. So you better be ready for this. If you really do anything like that, I'm going to make sure I retaliate against you.
That's right, we're gonna make sure you can't walk on the streets. Making a note of the committed threat.
Look, it sounds like you're misunderstanding something. I married that boring man who had nothing but money and spent my precious time with him. Do you get it? I even believe that he should be the one who should be paying me to compromise my pain and suffer for spending time with such a boring guy. And I've been stuck up thinking that I'll get the $800K asset in his house. I've been looking forward to this day and you've ruined it all for me.
Wow, this is the first time you're saying what Steven used to say.
What?
Steven used to tell us all the time.
He used to tell us that the biggest mistake in his life was the fact that he chose to marry you, ever.
That bastard!
You'll have plenty of time in life to think about what you've done and regret everything.
What?
I'm saying that you have plenty of time to regret what you've done and learn your lesson, even if it's going to take you decades to realize what you've done, as you remember about my brother.
You're kidding me. Wait, what? Why?
I saw a stranger around these premises as I was walking towards this house, so I made sure I called the police.
What the heck? How dare you do this to me?
Wait, I have nothing to do with this. Just stop giving excuses.
We're not going to forgive you for what you've done to our colleague. Justice will serve right to you guys. Both Kayla and Matthew were sentenced to parole in addition to the penalties that they were charged with. I made sure their families and workplaces were let known about what they had done, while I overheard that they both voluntarily resigned from their jobs. Neither of them was accepted back at their parents' house since everyone knew what they had done. Mr. Trevor told me that they now live somewhere far away as they work day and night to pay for the settlement they owe me and my brother. As for me, I was able to marry my fiancé shortly after my brother's passing. I was sad that my brother couldn't make it to my wedding, but I'm sure he was watching me from heaven to bless us. Troublebusters!
I don't care if you have a fractured bone.
Understood. I'll be right there then.
Trouble Busters!
If you're one of our family members, you're going to give a speech at the wedding. You're going to write the script, too. Look, you need to make this into a legendary speech that astonishes everyone at the wedding.
This is becoming a little too much.
Shut up and just do it.
My name is Melanie. My mother-in-law's been bullying me ever since I started living with my husband's parents while I work remotely. This is my mother-in-law. Her name is Nancy, and she keeps demanding anything she wishes. I'm trying to come up with a speech for my brother-in-law's wedding right now.
Yes, right there. You need to add some compliments about how sophisticated I am, and also...
I don't even know what genre this fantasy is from.
Also, make sure that anyone who hears the speech will know how great of a mother I am. Oh, God.
Hello?
Melanie, where the heck are you? Why aren't you here?
Huh? I told Cody and his new wife that I can't attend the wedding because I broke my leg.
I don't care if you have a fractured bone.
What? I've been sucking up all this time because she's my husband's mother, but how is she to treat me like this? No, I'm going to decide what's going to happen from now on. I'm not letting her get away with this. Troublebusters!
Melanie, are you listening to me?
Yes, I'm listening.
Look, the ceremony is about to start now. You better get here by the time you're supposed to do the speech, okay?
Understood. I'll be right there then. I'm so sorry. I'm late. I know I'm not the most eye-pleasing person in this venue right now, but I'm here as your mother had asked me to be.
What? Did Nancy call over someone who can't even walk on her own?
No, this isn't what it looks like.
Melanie, I thought you got hospitalized because of the accident.
You're right. However, your mother called me earlier.
What?
Hey, Mom!
What's going on?
Huh? Well,
Did you really tell Melanie that she had to attend this wedding despite the emergency she had?
I can't believe you're doing this to her.
This is unacceptable!
no, that's not true. Melanie decided to come here on her own.
Hey, Melanie!
Huh? Sean, why are you here? You said you're not attending this wedding.
I wasn't able to attend this wedding because I needed to take care of my wife, and look where she's at. Of course, I'd be here to look for her.
Huh? What's going on? Miss Melanie is supposed to be hospitalized at the hospital that Sean works at. What?
And she's not supposed to be moving around like this, even in a wheelchair.
What do you mean?
I'm telling you that Melanie isn't supposed to be getting out of her bed right now.
So, was this serious? And just for your information, my primary doctor is my husband, Sean. What? You never told me any of this. Well, you never listened to anything I say to you anyways. All you said was that you don't care about a fractured bone. What?
Is that what you said to Melanie?
She needs to be in bed right now. This is unbelievable. Hey, Melanie, you need to stop confusing people like that. I'm just telling the truth. No, you're not. I never said anything so terrible like that.
Hey, Mom!
Huh?
I asked you if you really said that to Melanie.
No, I didn't. I would never say anything like that. I wonder why. Huh? I wonder why I'm here when my primary doctor told me not to get out of bed. Huh? What? If someone was so persistent for me to be here, who would that person be? As an in-law of this family, I believe it had to be someone who has a stronger position than me in the family, which has to be a parent-in-law. But Stephen would never abuse his position like that. This means that based on the process of elimination, it had to be Nancy. And because I was told that she didn't care if I had a fractured bone, I had no choice but to show up, even if I had to ride a wheelchair. Oh, I feel like everything is starting to make sense now. Were you about to bully your daughter at your son-in-law's wedding? This is a misunderstanding. Oh, Melanie, don't you remember how considerate I was when I spoke to you? I only wanted you to be at this wedding if you were feeling okay and comfortable. I even suggested that we could do a video chat so you'll get to feel like you're here at the wedding too, right? I'm always so nice to everyone and I'm a perfect human being. I'd treat you like that. Besides, how do I know that you didn't choose to hospitalize yourself just because you didn't want to attend this wedding? Am I a psychopath or what?
That's not possible.
What?
I've taken a look at Melanie's x-ray, but this had to be a very unfortunate accident.
Maybe you didn't take a close enough look. You better not insult him. Oh, I'm sorry. The weather was just so nice outside today, and I ended up falling on my bicycle when I was riding it downhill.
That's what happened.
What are you, a kindergarten child who's riding a bike for the first time? It wasn't a compliment. And here we go. That's not good. No one is going to understand how great of a mother I am if you write your speech like that. Just write that my honeymoon was a trip around Europe, and I was wearing all high-brand clothing, and... Are you sure about this? Huh? You said your honeymoon was somewhere within the state, and you wore whatever clothes that you had. Oh, who cares? No one's going to know the truth anyways. That means we're lying to everyone. Just shut up and keep writing the speech. Oh my God. What is this?
Oh boy, the speech that she was reading all proudly earlier was written by her son's wife.
No, that's not true. Melanie, you need to turn that off right now. And there's more to it. What? Oh my God. How is this even possible? What the heck is this? Didn't she say that she always takes care of things around the house and never lets her daughter-in-law do a single thing? Oh God, no, this isn't true. Hey, Melanie, you need to stop.
Keep going.
Huh? Oh. Ugh. Oh my God.
That's just an eyesore. Look at Melanie working so hard while she's also taking care of things around the house, and she just sleeps like that right next to her.
Oh no, my image is going downhill. Melanie, I'm not going to forgive you.
Right back at ya.
I never thought that you would do something like this to Melanie. I respect Melanie from the deepest part of my heart. This is unforgivable.
Oh, it's just a misunderstanding.
What are we misunderstanding? Everything looks clear in these videos.
I mean,
I knew that speech was way too sophisticated for you to write. I almost got fooled.
wait, listen to me.
And please enjoy the second half of this show.
Why did you make fried rice for lunch? I told you that I wanted to eat extra garlic, sauteed vegetables with easy oil, right?
But I didn't have the ingredients to make that.
You should have read my mind and did the groceries in advance.
But I was busy with work too.
Tch, you're such a useless wife. I don't even know why Sean decided to marry a useless wife like you.
What?
It used to be a norm for women to quit our jobs when we got married so we could focus on building a family. But look at you. You don't even cook curry using curry powder. You use straight hair conditioner without diluting it with water first. You don't tuck your shirt into your pants. You don't even... Oh my God. What is this?
She must think we're still in the 60s.
Oh, shut up. It's called freedom of speech. It's not like I'm causing trouble to anyone, am I?
You're causing Melanie a huge trouble.
What?
You're expecting her to agree with how you think. That's already troublesome enough for her.
But that's how my mother-in-law taught me things when I got married.
So what?
I mean...
Just because you were treated a certain way, it doesn't make it okay for you to treat others the way you never wanted to be treated.
What's wrong with that? Everyone does this.
You just don't get it, do you?
What?
I was hoping that you would understand how I feel, but I guess not.
What is this?
This shows all the details of the money that I let Nancy borrow from me.
Wait, Melanie?
Nancy, do you have anything to say about this? Not only were you bullying her, but you were also taking money from her.
No, this isn't what it looks like. Let me explain.
Okay, explain it.
Huh?
You borrowed so much money from her, you must have had a very important reason why you had to do this to her.
Oh,
Would you like me to say it for you?
huh? No, I never told you how I spent the money I borrowed from you.
I've always wondered why you never return the money that you borrow from me, despite the fact that you've been borrowing so frequently, and it made me so curious that I decided to get to the bottom of this.
Oh, God. Oh, please don't tell me.
So I went ahead and decided to investigate where the money was going.
Oh, my God. No, Melanie, stop.
Checkmate.
What is this?
Is this an affair?
Does this mean that this old man stole my wife from me?
No. I'm just a huge fan of this gentleman.
You're not getting away with this. I'm breaking up with you. Don't you ever walk into my house again.
Oh, fine. I'm okay with breaking up with you, and I'm going to make sure that you're going to pay me a settlement for the divorce.
What?
Well, you initiated the divorce, so you're going to...
You're gonna be the one paying him, Mom.
What?
You're going to pay Dad a settlement.
What? Why?
What did you think? You cheated on Dad, and that's why he's filing a divorce with you.
But we built that house after we got married. Stephen has money in his savings, too. I know I deserve to take half of the assets he has.
Well, you might be right.
See? I'm fine with breaking up as long as we're dividing the assets.
It's not going to be enough.
Huh? What isn't enough?
Don't you get it? The assets might be divided, but he's gonna be charging you a lot more settlement than the asset that you'll be getting.
You're kidding, right? This was only the first time I ever cheated.
But the fact is, you harassed Melanie.
Huh?
You have done so many things to harass Melanie. You deserve it. She can't get me to pay a settlement just for harassing her.
Don't worry about it.
What?
I'm actually quite good with what I do as a lawyer.
Wait, what?
It's great to have a son who's a lawyer. You're such a great brother, too.
Hold on a second there.
What?
Are you guys being serious about charging me a settlement?
Yup.
Oh, this is unbelievable. We've lived together for so many years as a family. You can't do this to me.
We've been sucking it up. Now that our sons are independent, I was hoping that you'd become a better person. But you were harassing Melanie behind our back, borrowing money from her. I can't take this anymore.
But you can't do this.
And you even cheated on Dad with a 100-year-old man.
How dare you betray your husband like this?
You better be kidding me.
No, that wasn't what I was trying to do.
So what exactly were you trying to do?
Huh?
You harassed Melanie, you took money from her, you disturbed her while she was working. What exactly were you trying to do? I despise you from the bottom of my heart. I can't even stand thinking that you and I are blood related.
Wait, hold on. I said wait. What am I supposed to do after I lose all of you from my life? How am I supposed to make money to continue my relationship with my man? Is that really what you're worried about right now?
It's okay, Sandy. I knew she'd be like this.
Shut up. Oh, besides, this is all happening because you showed up in that wheelchair, Melanie.
But you were the one who told her to show up no matter what.
Oh, just shut up. If only I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have called her over to this wedding. But Melanie didn't tell me anything, so you guys better let me continue living in your house.
Nancy, let me make it clear that I wasn't going to attend this wedding after the accident I had, but you insisted that I'd come. You did this to yourself.
Oh, you can't blame me.
You better learn your lesson now. It's already too late now. No matter how much you cry or scream, no one trusts you.
At all.
No.
The photos and videos that I had on my phone sufficed as evidence. Stephen broke up with Nancy and she ultimately ended up with a bunch of compensation to pay for. I heard she got a job since she couldn't continue living without an income. I also heard that she's been struggling at work since she had always been spoiled by her family almost her entire life. Younger colleagues are training her on how to work, and she's finally starting to realize the fact that she's always taken her family for granted. 3 months after the incident, I was finally able to come back home. The moment I opened my front door, my family welcomed me back home by throwing a surprise party. It made me so happy to a point where I started crying.
Troublebusters! Out of my way! A sign? Who cares? I'll run over it again.
Trouble Busters!
La la la. Out of my way. Emily, I made sure I did it again.
I saw the model of the car, the color, and the driver as she drove away.
I don't think that was me.
I know it was you, Madeline.
Maybe you're mistaking me with someone else. Helen, remember 4 years ago?
This is a new cafe that opened up.
You thought that a hair salon was a cafe?
Oh, I'm sorry about what happened back then.
Anyways, it wasn't me. I wasn't the one who made that shortcut.
Oh. She's right that I made that mistake 4 years ago, but I know the driver in that car was Madeline. I decided to ask my husband to install a surveillance camera. I hope this works. I wished I never had to talk to her about this, and I hope this will solve the problem. However, that's Madeline. I went to go check my surveillance recording. Madeline was clearly captured by the camera. I knew she was the culprit. I went to go talk to her for a second time, but Madeline only acted shamelessly.
Oh, I see. You installed a camera, huh? Good for you. Okay, I'll be careful next time.
She didn't even apologize. She's not sorry for anything. I know things can sometimes get sensitive between neighbors, and that's why I've been trying to be so nice this entire time.
It's time for revenge. I'm not going to forgive her.
I'm not forgiving her for this either.
We're not letting her get away with this. Troublebusters!
La la la. A sign? Who cares? I'll run over it again. What the heck? What the heck? What the heck? May I help you with something? Help me? Oh, what the heck have you done, huh? Oh my God, what happened? What happened is what you caused. I installed some metal bars to make sure no one was trespassing. Why did you crash into it? I didn't know you installed these stupid bars. How dare you do this? You're going to pay for my car. What? You shouldn't have been trespassing on my private property to begin with. How dare you say that as if this was my fault? I was just driving this street as always. And did I ever give you permission to do that? But you're my neighbor. You're my neighbor, but that doesn't answer my question. You're not supposed to be passing my driveway. It's private property. Oh yeah? Since when is that law effective? When? Oh, I don't know. All I know is that it is the law. If trespassing wasn't against the law, anyone gets to enter anyone else's private property all the time.
Yeah, move forward. Never take a detour no matter what obstacle is in front of you. Keep moving straight forward.
You should only say that if you know for sure. If you don't have your facts straight, it's the equivalent to a fantasy. A fantasy? Why don't I turn it into a reality for you then? And that's another fantasy right there. Ellen, why don't you might as well become a novelist? Stop changing the subject. Oh, who cares about a snowman or two? I know your daughter cheated during the snowman championship to win first place. I'm sure it's easy for her to make one. She never cheated to win that contest. My daughter Emily didn't win the first place, and that only means that your daughter cheated. Anyways, you're paying to replace my car, and I might as well make you and your daughter apologize for cheating during that contest. You're kidding me. Besides, if you refuse, I'm going to call the cops on you. Do it if that's what you want, and I'm going to make you pay for the 12-pound bluefin tuna that you ruined. What? Why would you have a bluefin tuna inside a snowman? I believe Helen did that. Besides, you shouldn't have entered a private property to begin with. Forget it, this conversation isn't getting anywhere. Right back at you.
This is not good. You've trespassed. You ignored the sign. You ruined the snowman and the bluefin tuna. Madeline, you're at fault here.
What? Who do you think you are to say that?
I think I'm the police and I'm just doing my job.
And you're the one who called the police. This isn't fair. You were hiding a metal bar behind a snowman. I don't know anything about that. I believe Helen did that. Your daughter is crazy. I don't know how you raised your child. You don't get to say that. You've been trespassing.
I recommend settling this among yourselves.
Give me a break. Why would I do that? Hurry up and arrest her.
That's not happening. Besides, if I'm going to arrest one of you, it's going to be you, Madeline.
And you're paying $35,000 for my bluefin tuna. What? $35,000? Who in the world places that much value on an animal that only knows how to swim in the ocean and nothing else? Bluefin tuna is about $3,000 per pound. It's an expensive fish. I'm going to make sure you pay for it. If you're going to talk about an expensive fish, let me tell you that my car is expensive. You're going to pay $50,000 for my car. No, I'm not. You're the one who will be paying. Officer, we'll take care of this matter on our own. Thank you so much for coming by. Now, if you're not willing to do as I say, I'm going to file a lawsuit. Are you sure? You're not going to win this case. If we take this to the court, you're going to be talking about it, and everyone will know what you've done. Right back at you. You better be ready for this. Madeline was not willing to compromise. She wasn't bluffing either, and she really filed a lawsuit, and I'm ready to do this.
Miss Madeline has entered a private property that she was permitted access to while a metal bar was hidden inside the snow. She ended up crashing into the bar, causing total damage to her vehicle. The fact that the bar was hiding inside the snow shows that the defendant had harming intentions. And we ask for $50,000 to compensate for the damage to the vehicle, along with an apology. Are you sure that Ms. Madeline had permission to enter private property? Ms. Ellen had a signage that warned others not to enter her private property. Do you have anything to say about this?
I believe that sign was for people other than me.
Wouldn't you think that Ms. Ellen would have informed you if she was willing to give you an exception to allow trespassing? The defendant failed to do so, which caused this problem. She is not obligated to do so. If there had been a verbal agreement is something that would only cause a he said, she said situation, while it doesn't prove or justify anything, so let's not forget about that. The fact that the plaintiff ended up with the damages on her vehicle was due to the fact that she chose to disregard the signage that the defendant had placed to warn others not to enter the private property. Therefore, Ms. Ellen is not at fault for the damages. But it would be a different story if there are untrue facts on your side. And there are none. Ms. Ellen had been trying to resolve the issue between herself and the plaintiff. She initially tried to settle this with a discussion to kindly warn her not to enter her private property, while the plaintiff refused to cooperate, which ultimately led her to place the signage. That's not true! The two of them are not strangers. They each have a daughter, and their daughters are classmates. I wonder if someone who makes a signage to warn others not to enter her private property would be willing to let others enter the property. Maybe the defendant made a verbal agreement without thinking of it much.
What? I never gave her permission. Yes, you did. No, I did not. You did. I did not.
Stop it, both of you. There are way too many assumptions, and it is challenging to determine facts. If the prosecutor is unable to provide evidence that there had been a verbal agreement to permit entrance to private property, we shall determine that the accident was caused by trespassing, as the plaintiff had ignored the placed signage and the defendant had no responsibilities for the damages caused on the vehicle.
Your Honor, it is impossible to provide evidence for a verbal agreement that never took place. And we are about to. When we take a look at the petition, the contents are corrupt. It's almost as if a gang is trying to mug some cash off of a civilian on the street.
What did you just say?
And I find it the plaintiff's responsibility to provide evidence that such verbal agreement had taken place. And we were just about to do that! There is no way that any of those will be concrete evidence. The only way you could prove that the verbal agreement had taken place is to provide evidence based on when, where, and how the verbal agreement took place. But we don't have an audio recording or any type of record for that matter. And that's why we're trying to find the truth by confirming all facts. There is no such thing! And I say this because we may provide evidence that the plaintiff had entered the defendant's private property with bad intentions. Here!
Oh God, I knew you were going to play that video!
The plaintiff had repeatedly committed trespass on the property, despite the fact that there had been a sign. And we've been saying that this was because the plaintiff was permitted to enter the property. That's such a terrible argument.
Help me! What the heck have you done, huh? What? You shouldn't have been trespassing in my private property to begin with. How dare you say that as if this was my fault? I was just driving the street as always. And did I ever give you permission to do that? But you're my neighbor. Oh my God, were you recording me?
No matter how many times we listen to this, it's not going to sound like you had permission to enter the property. Oh God, what's going on?
Huh?
I never told lies. You told me that you and the defendant had a verbal agreement. You said that she agreed while she was jealous of you because your daughter is better than her daughter at everything in school. You said that you wished you could get along with Ms. Helen while she would keep acting out of jealousy. You even cried as you told me. But you were lying, weren't you?
That's not exactly true.
Then do you have anything to say about this?
Oh, shut up. Are you going to blame me that you're about to lose this case?
I mean, there's clearly no way to win this case when they provide evidence like that.
Wow, how can you take it out on your lawyer like that? Ever since I realized that talking wouldn't resolve any issues with you, I've been recording every conversation we've had. Oh, don't look at me like that.
And please take a look at this video too. She's right about to crash into a snowman. Look at her face. She's doing it on purpose.
Stop. I would have wanted you to stop.
Based on the visual and audio recording that we have, it is evident that Ms. Ellen never gave such verbal agreement, while the plaintiff had intentionally crashed into the snowman. Despite the fact that she had been warned not to drive into her private property, the plaintiff had never cooperated while she continued to choose to trespass the property. And she ultimately crashed into the bluefin tuna that was placed inside the snowman.
This case was regarding the damages caused on the plaintiff's vehicle, but it is clear that the plaintiff is at full fault. The petition is rejected, and if there are any objections to this judgment...
I object. I do. I have lots of objections.
Your Honor, would you kindly hold off on the verdict?
That's right. Mr. Thompson, you got this.
We would like to admit to all fault at this time to settle this dispute with Ms. Ellen.
Why would I do that?
I'm only suggesting the best decision you could make in this situation. Once this case is at its verdict, it will stay as an official record.
And isn't it your job to make sure that doesn't happen? What did I hire you for, huh?
You provided false facts regarding the case. How shameless are you?
Of course, I wouldn't want to say what I didn't want to say.
And that's exactly why we're losing this case. Listen, what you're trying to ask for is not going to happen. The more you go after this, you're only going to dig yourself a deeper hole for a lost trial. It's impossible to turn things around at this point. You're a criminal who trespassed private property with harassing intentions just to ultimately get your car wrecked.
How dare you speak to me like that?
And I don't mind if you decide to fire me on the spot. I had only made that suggestion because I was willing to do the best work I could do for your interest.
Are you telling me that woman was a step ahead of me? I would never admit to that.
If you don't admit to it, you're going to simply lose this case and you'll end up in a bad situation.
Are you threatening me?
If you lose this case, it's only going to be a matter of time before they retaliate against you.
What?
She's going to be filing a lawsuit against you for trespassing her private property, despite the fact that she had a sign to warn you, while you crashed into and damaged a bluefin tuna that was worth $35,000.
$35,000? I'm going to make you pay for it no matter what. No, I'm going to fight back against that.
And that's not possible! You would rather settle this dispute and pay for the bluefin tuna!
No, if I win this case, we'll be even. I won't have to take any penalties.
Your thought process is just like a gambler who's losing money.
$50,000 that I got from life insurance, but I don't need to be afraid of anything as long as I win.
The battle you're about to enter is something that you have absolutely no guarantee that you'd win. You're only relying on luck, and it's never going to go the way you want.
But...
And this is going to be the turning point. You're going to be the defendant at this point. If we're going to seek further trial, we're going to file a civil lawsuit against you for property damages. And after the civil trial, it will be a criminal trial.
Criminal?
A criminal trial will not only cost you, but it's going to be even further against your interest.
What do you mean?
You'll end up with a criminal record, since most of what you've committed will likely be considered misdemeanor rather than felony. You probably won't end up being in prison, but a record is a record. How would your daughter feel if she finds out that you have a criminal record? And what about your husband? Make sure you think carefully before you make a decision on how to proceed.
To be honest, I'm touched with how Mr. Thompson still tries to help you out with the best course of action, despite the fact that he was told false facts upon taking on this trial. And you're taking that for granted. What a shame! I'm only going to do whatever it takes to give you the biggest damage possible out of what you've done.
You can't talk to me like that.
Okay, I guess this is over.
Indeed, it's over. If you aren't willing to take any of my advice, that is completely fine. The verdict will be what it is, and there is nothing I could do at this point.
Huh, you're such a useless lawyer. Don't ever show me your face again.
As you wish.
So now I would like to state the verdict.
Of course, Madeline lost this trial, despite the fact that she no longer has a lawyer to help her out.
I would like to appeal.
Madeline still hasn't given up, but the judge rejected her appeal. Her attacks were finally over, and
What the heck?
now it was our turn. She was asked to compensate for the damages she caused by trespassing and crashing into my bluefin tuna.
The defendant is found liable to pay $35,000 to the plaintiff.
Oh my God.
And we won the case. While we were still on a strong momentum,
Oh my God. Now the criminal trial. Ellen filed a police report.
we moved on to the criminal trial. And of course, the judge decided
The defendant is sentenced to 1 year of imprisonment with 3 years of parole.
Oh no.
And that's how Madeline ended up with a $35,000 debt along with a criminal record. And then we found her.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm willing to pay for the tuna, but would you please help me out so I won't end up with a criminal record?
It's too late. The court already reached the verdict.
Oh, I should have listened to Mr. Thompson.
It was completely too late. All she had was to go downhill with her life, and she had no choice. As we all know what was about to happen, Madeline's husband and daughter were quite furious to find out about this.
I can't believe you let this happen without telling me any of this. I'm breaking up with you.
Dare you crash Helen's snowman? I don't want to see you ever again.
But, let me explain.
We're breaking up.
Go away.
No, but I only wanted to do it for you, Emily.
The revenge mission that Madeline was on to crash Helen's snowman had ultimately shattered everything she had in life. What goes around comes around. Madeline had no choice but to go back to live with her parents with a $35,000 debt, a criminal record, divorce status, and disowned by her daughter. I heard that her parents are not taking it well, and they're keeping a close eye on her to make sure she pays back for the debt and to atone her sins.
Oh, I don't even know how many years I'll be spending to pay back this money.
As for me, I've been stress-free more than ever after living with peace in mind that no one is trespassing my property, and no more snowman destroyers too. My daughter is making another snowman today.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Hey, Helen, don't do that. Troublebusters.